What's going on, Raider Nation? This is your boy Cliff Fortin. Welcome to the Raider Fan Podcast. I'm sure everybody's relieved. I'm relieved. Finally, Raiders get on the win board. Tennessee Titans probably not the best team in the division, in the AFC, I should say, but a win's a win. I said it last week that the Raiders needed to win. This was a must-win for the organization, for the players, more importantly, for us, the fans. We needed something to believe in. We need something to say, yeah, we're still on board, even though our diehard Raider fans were always going to be on board, but we needed something. We needed results finally. I know that, Coach Pete Carroll, he wins everywhere he goes. It just takes a little bit of time, but we've been waiting for many, many years since John Gruden. You know what I mean? We're really, in John Madden and some other really great coaches for where this organization was really something to be proud of. We have a great stadium. We have probably the best fans in the NFL. We travel well. We're everywhere. Our home games should be a little better, but the feeling's great. Monday morning, waking up, hey, the Raiders won. We win a big game 20-0. So that's something for us to, put our hats on. That, hey, we're not the worst team in the NFL, but there's still more concerns with this team. More concerns about the quarterback play. Hopefully, this sets the stage for us to continue to get better. Week one we beat the Patriots, and then we lost 3 straight. So there is a big difference in one win compared to 2. We're still last in the AFC West because everybody else won, but we got a huge game next week. We're going to Kansas City. They are beatable. We can definitely put our best foot forward and win. But let's talk about this game. At the first half, it was 10-0. I'm pretty sure everybody was. I know I was still anxious, but 10-0 is not a big lead for the Raiders. It's kind of like 10-0, a touchdown, 10-7. So that kind of was a little alarming, but we moved the ball offensively. We did okay. Geno Smith, 17 for 23, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, but he threw another interception, and it wasn't like a tip ball. It wasn't, a defender made a good play. It was a bad decision by the quarterback. It was a bad read. It was thrown across his body. It was the type of play, a throw that a quarterback shouldn't make, especially a veteran quarterback. That was a very bad throw, and this is what he does. He puts himself in this team in bad situations. Luckily, the defense was able to prevail, but it's a little alarming. He was playing some good football. He was managing. That's basically what we need him to do, is just manage the program, manage the offense. Don't turn the ball over. But he seems to like to throw interceptions. He takes unnecessary sacks. He doesn't get out of the pocket really well. There's a lot to his game that is very concerning. I was hoping that he'd be a lot better than what he is. So, hopefully that turns around. Well, we're going to find out. But, what is it? Austin Gentry, 23 for 75 yards and a touchdown. That dude's a beast. I think they should feed him a little bit more. But even in the reception, Geno Smith throws him a ball, hangs him out to dry. He could have got really, really hurt. And then one of our best running backs would be out. But luckily, he's a beast and he's able to take them type of hits. But that was a bad read, bad throw for the quarterback. Just lofted it and hung him out there. So, again, I know I get on Geno Smith a lot because he's a veteran quarterback. He should know better. And I'm waiting for this quarterback to really show up and just take this organization, this team to the next level. I don't know if he can, but hopefully we can figure that out. I'd like to know who our number one wide receiver is. Is it Trey Tucker? Is it Jacoby Myers? Who is it? Jacoby Meyers. Who's our number one? I thought it was Jacoby, but it looks like Trey is. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Is Trey Tucker a number one receiver, or is it Jacoby Myers? Let me know. I thought it was Jacoby, but it looks like it's Trey. But both of them comparable numbers. Trey 5 receptions for 70 yards. I think he could do a lot more. He's faster. He's more athletic. I like to see that connection between Geno and Trey to happen a little bit more. Jacoby 4 receptions, 39 yards. It's not comparable, but what are we doing? We need that breakout receiver. Is it gonna be Trey? Is it gonna be Jacoby? Who's going to step up as the wide receiver? At tight end, Michael Mayer, 5 receptions, 50 yards and a touchdown. It seems like this offense relies on the tight ends more so than the wide receivers, which is a good thing, but also could be a bad thing because we have some really good wide receivers. I just think they need a better chance. But again, who's our number one? Is it Trey? Is it Jacoby? Leave your comments. Let me know, who you think the number one receiver is. I will say the offense looked a little better. We were moving the ball, but we need a little bit more consistency. So hopefully Chip Kelly and this Raiders organization can really put an offense together that's more complete. Defensively, Devin White finally showed up. You know what I mean? I think, when he was playing over at Tampa Bay, he was a lights-out linebacker. He got injured. Now he's with the Raiders, and he was playing okay, but I was looking for that spark. And, 9 tackles, a sack, an interception. That's the type of linebacker that we need to complement, Max Crosby. I thought he had a little bit more tackles, but he's got 3 tackles. He had 2 sacks, though. So, the sacks, are basically what he's known for. The defensive line really put a lot of pressure on the Tennessee, rookie. But I like to see more. I like to see this team be really dominant in the back end between Chin, Kelly. They're getting a little better, more experience. So it seems like that defense is coming along. It beats, the 40 points that, well, it wasn't really 40, but, 40 points did get up. It seemed like the defense was a little bit more in control, and they were communicating a lot better. So let's just see what happens next week because we're going to Kansas City. That's a huge game. I think that KC is definitely beatable. We always play them strong. I know, Max Crosby and the Kansas City Chiefs have this love-hate relationship, especially with Patrick Mahomes. I think we need to make him feel very uncomfortable. That's the only way that the Raiders are going to have a shot. We're going to be consistent. We have to run the ball. We have to throw the ball and not turn the ball over. So this is going to be a really must. It's going to be a tell type of game. We know where Kansas City is. They're the cream of the crop. We know what the Raiders are. They're trying to find themselves. It will be a monstrous win if the Raiders can go down to Kansas City and beat them. I think we can. It's not like we've never beat them before. So it's going to be very interesting. Put in the comments, do you think the Raiders can go to Kansas City and beat them next week? I'll be very interested to read all your comments. I will do my best to answer all of them. But that's it for this week. Hopefully you guys, I do want to say thank you. A lot of you guys share my stuff. There's a lot of comments in the comment section. Continue to make comments. And, until next week, let's go Raiders.